There. Look at this way, that way. Okay, you all right?
I'm good.
You good?
You're gonna wear your hat?
Wear my hat. We're on right now.
Good.
So I have here Charles LeBlanc. I have beside me the leader of the third party. What's that party called?
That would be the Green Party.
The Green Party. Okay, I'm so used to listening to the third party. And David Coon, and I got nothing marked.
Hi, Charles.
How you doing?
Good.
I'll shake your hand.
All right.
It's all right. Well, no, it's not. It's politicians. They always. You guys shake hand how many times? How many times do
A
you
lot
shake
of
hand a
times.
day?
Many times.
How many times a day?
I don't know. Depends on the day.
What's the difference between when you were lead or you were the spokesperson for the
NB.
CCNB and being a politician? How many times you shook hand there and now?
Rarely shook hands there.
Really?
Rarely.
You were more pointing, you were listening to us. Okay, so we're doing all this an election in 50 days or 50, how many did you know?
Well, the writ drops August 23rd, so less than a month before the writ drops, right?
What did you learn? You're the first MLA Green Party member, first. Been NDP before, I don't talk about them. How was it the last 4 years?
Well, it was, fantastic to be able to serve people in the constituency, to be able to serve people in the legislature. It was great. It was the best job for me I could ever want to do that.
What did you learn? What did they?
Well, I learned lots of things. So as far as the work in the riding goes, I learned a lot about poverty. I learned that there's a lot of hidden poverty in Fredericton that
Like
people don't realize. Well, that it's just not visible for a lot of people, that there's a lot of poverty. There's huge issues for housing. So many people who have poor housing or no housing.
You remember your first case that walked through those doors and said, hey?
The very first case, I can't say I do now. It's been a lot of people, but it's, and so what I learned related to that was the system is not serving people well, to say the least. And so it needs to be dramatically overhauled.
Now you're talking
Department of Social Development.
Okay, that's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about income assistance and all the unnecessary rules that are just making it that much more costly for people, makes the poverty that much deeper for people. Like you can't share accommodations to make your money go a little further is a good example of the problem. That's just common sense. Anyone who's trying to live on limited income looks to share accommodations to make their money go further. You're not allowed to do that if you're on income assistance, and if you do, you'll lose it. So things like that, if you are on income assistance and you receive child support, it's taken away from you by social development.
Don't you find it strange that we have social development, regional, you know where it is,
Yeah.
Two Nation Crossing,
Yeah.
and there's no bus shelter?
Well,
There's no bus shelter for families going with kids, and then you contact the province and they say, oh, it's a municipal issue.
Yeah.
You have an opinion on our mayor? Don't answer that. Okay, so, no, we'll be polite, it's all right. You must say, thank God, there is a God. How come there's no bus shelter there?
I don't know. I think the bottom line on transit is we're one of basically the only province that's not providing financial help to our city transit services. Everywhere else, city transit services have to survive on what they get from their municipality, from the province, and from the tickets. Here, the provincial government provides nothing, so it's very difficult for the city to provide the kind of service they should, like bus shelters, like Sunday bus service.
But that's in Stephen Horseman writing. Shouldn't he care about a bus shelter?
Well, everyone should care about good transit service.
Good transit service.
Absolutely.
You plan to run for mayor?
No.
Come on.
I'm running for re-election.
Yeah, but then in 2 years from now, you can step down.
No, I'm not.
No?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Then we'll get a proper transit system.
No, we need provincial support to get a proper transit system.
Okay, so David Coon, the Green Party MLA, walk inside a bureaucrat for social development, for anything, as the Green Party. Did you find that they treated you differently? Were they shocked? They didn't know how to treat you?
No, I found it was fine. It is fine.
The sky didn't fall because we elected a Green Party MLA?
No, it's all good.
So it don't matter which political party you're from. The MLA, if they listen and go take care of a few problems, it shouldn't really matter which party the bureaucrats has to deal with. They don't look at you differently?
Not in my experience, no.
Maybe behind your back?
Not in my experience. No, it's been, the relationship with the public servants has been good.
It's been good?
Yeah.
And you had people, I remember the first day when you were, the next day, what was I, hungover? Oh, how come it took so long to get the result? No, we are going to go there. It took what, till 1 o'clock to find out?
Yeah, the machines broke.
And
well, not that they didn't break, but anyways, there was glitches.
It cost $800,000.
Is that right?
For that system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then...
It's been working ever since.
So
after I got elected, it's been working.
After I got elected. I know I should have marked things down and would have been better. Is there a difference between an MLA so there's no, if people vote for the Green in other territories, other ridings, other counties ridings, it's not going to matter. I mean, it should, the sky is not going to fall if you vote for People Alliance or the Green Party.
Well, I can only speak about the Green Party, but it's going to get better if you vote for the Green Party. If you vote for a Green MLA, I should say. I got demonstrated that in terms of how hard I work, how hard I listen. And,
you're a good listener.
And how, I've been able to take action on a lot of issues to help people who need help in the community. And not just in this community. Just because someone is calling from outside of Fredericton South, it doesn't mean that in my office we don't try and help them. So that's how the other Green MLAs will operate. So we've got a record, 4 years of how I've worked in the riding here at the constituency level. That's how other Green MLAs are going to operate. Always available, ready to act on behalf of the community.
And I give you many opportunity to lose your temper with me, but you never did. That's good. And you're my MLA.
It takes a lot for me to lose my temper.
Going back to the less fortunate, what we're going to do, the Liberals, they're not the same Liberals as I used to know. They used to care for the little guy. Now that's out the door with the provincial jails, making people walk home.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of problems in the provincial jails, right? People lose their prescriptions when they come into the jail.
I was there for 2 days for my blowhorn,
right.
And they cut off my prescription.
Right, so that's not right. And then when you come out, you need to get home, and we know that's a problem, and that needs to be fixed.
Why they don't say, all right, we're going to drive you back, we're going that way anyway? How come they don't do that?
I don't know. I think one of the things I've learned is the system, whether it's social development or what we've got, has changed in such a way that it doesn't automatically ensure that people apply their basic humanity and the compassion that they have and that they want to. In fact, there's a lot of fear inside the civil service of doing the wrong thing, of getting in trouble, of not right. And this has gotten worse with this government lately, because it is reaching way down into the civil service from the political end of things and telling people what they should be doing, which is not the way it should be working. It's totally the opposite. We need a strong public service to serve the public. Public servants to serve the public. That's what we need. They're not there to serve, political agendas particularly. They're there to serve the public, and we can think about that as serving the common good, right? Serving the common good.
Yeah, the common sense approach. But what I'm trying to say is, like, there's two people, Tyler Sweeney and Caroline Warnot. Two individuals died behind bars, and one of them, Caroline, she went public. We're going to do another video. Lisa Paul from St. Mary's First Nation was in the prison beside her. She seen everything. She went on CBC and said she was begging for her life. They just ignored her. Next thing you know, she's dead. No coroner inquest, no inquiry, no nothing. They put people behind bars, they die. And the Liberals were mad at me. I called them murderers. Oh, they said, you can't say that. My God, where are you? You're the responsibility of these inmates.
We don't use our coroner's office like we should, like many other provinces do. We should have more routine coroner's inquests to get to the bottom of these kinds of deaths. It's just normal in some provinces, and it's public, and the results are presented publicly, so everyone knows what happened. And then once you know that, you can act to make sure it doesn't, or try and make sure it doesn't happen again, whatever the circumstances were. So those kinds of so, but this speaks to the kind of secrecy that's been wrapped around government for years now. And it's just gotten worse with this government, but it's for years. Secrecy's been wrapped around government because what we've lost the notion that the leaders have lost the notion that public service is there to serve the public, that the people who are elected are there to serve the public, that is, advance the common good or public interest, whatever you want to call it, instead of serving the few, who have the biggest wallets, or employ the most number of people, or are your backroom people from your party. And so as a result, we've been drifting. We haven't been solving problems, and the problems have been getting worse, because how can you get to the point where you have an ambulance system that is not able to reach people in rural New Brunswick in reasonable time? How can you get to a situation where the ERs in our city hospitals are stacked up? Waiting time is unsafe for some people, and people with serious health problems after they get in through the ER are stuck in the hallways waiting for rooms that aren't ready for it. Hold on. There's more.
This is not the David Coon. This is not your weekly thing here. Come on.
Sure it is.
Here, suck on this and pump that bush for 2 minutes. There, pump that bush. You know what that is. Now we turn around. How come we haven't had a tribunal, human rights commission?
For what?
In 30 years, anything. There's no place to turn. If a person, how many people have you had crying? Well, then you say it was racism against the poor. Well, the poor is not a race. It's discrimination. Yeah. You go to human rights, they say, well, poverty is not an issue for human rights. There's no word for the poor or the working poor. The working poor.
So it's the Charles LeBlanc.
Okay. So, but give me an answer. How come there's no place to turn besides to go see your psychologist, your MLA that listens to your problem?
I think so. So we've got to a point where at the higher level of the political level in the system treats people as liabilities in some cases, or as as just stats on a page, and rather than as people. So we need to transform the system in a way so that it treats everyone like you would want your brother or your sister or your son or your daughter or your father or your mother to be treated. That's where we have to get to, and that's where I want to get to.
But that needs money.
It means it means strong leadership that makes that clear. It means revamping our systems so that people can use their compassion and their empathy and their humanity to help people, to serve the public as they were hired to do.
Well, I told you that before. That's the first thing I told you. I don't know if you learned. What does a bureaucrat calls a politician?
Temporary help.
Exactly.
I know.
And I'm the one that told you that. And that's what it is. You guys are only there part-time. The bureaucrats, the long-term bureaucrats, they got 3 cars, and the family members are all going, they got the job. But they don't listen.
Well, so I think what I've observed is people find themselves trapped in this system, and they can't work in the way they like to work or the way they believe they should work. And it's in fact the same for some backbenchers in the other parties in the legislature. They seem like they're trapped in this system. because it has become so top down, so centrally controlled out of the Premier's office, who's trying to control what happens in the legislature, what happens in the committees, and what happens in every little part of the civil service that's there to serve the public, that it's gummed up the works, terribly. Gummed up the works. And people feel that. I mean, I've done thousands of doors in the last couple of months, and that's the most common thing people say. Why is it? We hear about all these things that they're supposed to be in place to help us when we need it, and they're not there. There's no substance under the announcements. Seniors, suddenly something happens to one, husband or a wife, a health problem, and while they were okay before, now they need some help in the home, to stay in their home. Been told since 2014, the government said, we want to help you stay in your home. And then when something happens in their lives that means they have to go seek that help, they discover it's really hard. It's really hard to find.
You only get involved in an issue if it affects you. And that's why the justice system. Nobody wants to touch it because everybody is so honest.
Okay, but everyone expects that the government will have your back when you get into trouble. When something happens in your life and you need help. Because you pay your taxes and you assume that it's going to be there for you if you need it. Now, with the justice, but the other thing you've got operating is the prejudices that are run through, right, for people who are living in poverty, or people who are, run across afoul of the justice system, and people who are in jail, and people who are all these, whatever, people who are addicted to drugs or alcoholic and so on. So those prejudices are embedded in the system in some ways, and so they're not so some areas like the justice system have that added kind of barrier to actually serving people well.
Do you think Chris Austin will make a good MLA?
I think it's hard to say, but I would imagine he would serve the constituents in his riding if he won well. Yeah, why wouldn't he? You listen to him on the political panel. How many people listen to CBC political panel? But
22
I don't know,
people. You get a lot of comments that here. Oh, I hear you on the political panel. Have you get a lot of comments on that?
Yes.
Yes. So a lot of people do listen.
Yeah.
Here, there's only about 20 people.
Well, they don't watch the panel. They hear the clips on the news.
The clips on the news. They don't watch 20 minutes or half an hour.
Well, some people do, but lots.
No, I asked Chris Austin the same question about you, and he spoke pretty highly.
So,
you.
Well, I think Dan Weston would make an excellent MLA in that.
Dan Weston, yeah, that would be good.
He would help people.
He talks
big time.
He goes in detail.
He'd be good.
Me, ADHD. Anyway, Dan Weston, yes, he would be good. You caught me off guard. Campobello Island. What the hell? I saw that. What's going on there?
Well, it's what's been going on for a long time.
What's the population there anyway?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you. But I've been there many, many times, so I know it. This is actually something that's important to ask politicians when you're interviewing them.
What?
Here I'm giving Charles LeBlanc advice. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
But maybe you do. Ask them anyways. And that is, have you been there when you're talking about somewhere?
Yeah. Have you been there?
Have you been there?
Did the Premier been there?
Have you been there? I don't know. You have to ask it.
Be in this place. Be in this place.
Anyways,
Campobello Island.
So Campobello, of course, it has no connection to the Canadian mainland or to the New Brunswick shore.
No.
So it's isolated from its people there from their own country and their own province, except in the summertime when there's a privately run ferry.
Yeah.
And so you have to take the bridge to Lebec, Maine, and then drive for an hour through Maine to get back to St. Stephen, and then come into New Brunswick and into Canada there. So where you have Grand Manan, you have a ferry, and it's seen as part of the highway system. So it's provided as part of the highway system to make sure Grand Mananers are connected
You got 30 more
to the rest
seconds.
of New Brunswick.
Yeah.
The same for Deer Island.
Yeah.
There's a ferry
Beautiful
provided
place here.
that's seen as part of the highway system.
Yeah.
And there's nothing provided to Campobello that's seen as part of the highway system. Why?
I don't know.
Me neither. But we need it.
Yes.
They need it.
They're Canadians.
They're Canadians, they're New Brunswickers, and they need to be treated that way.
Today is a happy day today. Hey, what's the date today? Is this the last
The
day
30th.
of July? No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's last.
Tomorrow. My birthday is in 2 days from now, August 1st. July 31st. Yes, beautiful day in New Brunswick. The language commissioner is out of here. Au revoir, vata.
We still
Bye-bye.
have a language commissioner.
Who? Michel Carrier?
Michel Carrier.
No, but I mean, that position costs $500,000 a year to run.
Well, we have
Would
enough.
you, as premier, eliminate that and
No.
say, we need, come on, never mind the French
I would
vote
not.
here. Come on, why not?
Because there's
Go to the Ombudsman or Human Rights Commission if you got a complaint about language.
no. This as a bilingual province, we absolutely need a language commissioner.
We don't, we need
We
that. Okay?
absolutely do.
Why?
We do. Because to ensure that people are being treated fairly in
Tu
terms of
veux
access
seulement
to English
avoir
and
les
French services.
votes des
So,
Français.
not at all. It's a fundamental question of justice, a fundamental question of equality for both Anglophones and Francophones in this province.
You've been there too long. Okay,
So-
you're gonna be there one term.
Not at all. I haven't changed my thinking on that. It's the way I've always thought. I haven't, right?
But it only cause, maybe it's
So,
because of our attitude.
We have, you know, so some people didn't like the language commissioner. Well, they knew her through what? Did you ever interview her?
I don't want to be in the same room as
Oh, Charles.
the law is the law.
Charles.
And that Rain Grant thing, that really, let's get one thing straight here. I'm Scottish,
So am I.
and her, when they're just, her attitude, just, don't answer that.
But
That's okay.
Anyway.
That's okay.
So we've got a language commissioner. We will continue to have a
I
language
hear
commissioner.
they might hire an Anglophone as a language commissioner.
Well, in Canada, like the federal government switches back and forth.
That's the
That's the
lieutenant.
tradition.
That's the lieutenant.
No, there's the other language commissioner in Canada is the federal
really?
government language commissioner. And they tend to switch back and forth between a Francophone and Anglophone in that position. It's a good idea. Sure.
Didn't Justin Trudeau doing a good job?
On what?
I'll give you
Exactly.
I'll give you a new tip. He's going to be here for the Gay Pride Parade.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to meet him as MLA.
Now, does that under the Green Party MLA, do they treat you differently?
In the legislature?
In the legislature, they treated you pretty good.
So where do you mean then?
No, when you go outside and say, like you meet Justin Trudeau, I'm the David
Oh.
Coon. Are you allowed in events or
Sure.
have you been denied?
He might want my autograph.
Okay.
History making, right? First Green MLA elected in New Brunswick.
And the PI, that guy, what's his name again? No, there's two
Peter
now.
Bevan Baker.
There's two now.
Yeah, Peter Bevan Baker and Hannah Bell.
So what do you think is going to happen this election? Do you think you're going to have a few more?
Absolutely. There'll be more Green MLAs elected to the legislature, and we have excellent candidates. So I think it's fantastic. It'll be
Now-
wonderful to have, and it's going to result in a more effective government for New Brunswickers the more Green MLAs we have in the legislature.
Now, of course, this is not going to be a rah, David Coon thing. I don't want people to think this
Well,
is
that's my job.
this week in politics. That was so boring. Oh my God. I mean, you got to have the feedback.
He's talking about my videos that I
What
made.
is- Yeah, you made video. That was
Well, it's like they say it takes 10,000 hours to get really good at something. So you've done 10,000 hours or more.
Oh, many.
So there you go.
Listen,
Living proof, 10,000
Listen.
hours.
it's not always good. What happened in Fredericton?
It's always in focus.
What happened in Fredericton North with Chris? Now, what if you had to do it all over again? What can you say? He won candidacy. He was to be the new candidate. He had the votes. They spoken, and then there was a problem. How was that handled? Good. Sorry, just.
Well, I thought it was handled well. It was handled exactly the way our rules for the Green Party are laid out. So
They don't send a
That's how it's
message about the democratic system. But what do you say to people that go say, hey, listen, David doesn't believe in that, or the Green Party don't believe in what happened there. We know what happened. Don't believe in the democratic system or what happened. What do you tell those people?
So the point is sometimes someone who's nominated as a candidate, when they get in that position, turns out it's the worst thing they could be doing. And so that's why parties in their constitutions have a democratic means for removing a candidate if that turns out to be the case.
That's what you would tell the people.
Well, that's what I do tell people.
But you know what? It's always funny. You could always find, if you want to find something about a person, you could find anything, just to go after them, an excuse. And some people that bring this issue up, you did a lot of good things, but they seem to be focusing on one. So
Yeah.
those people weren't fans in the first
Well,
place.
There wasn't the case of one thing. It wasn't, I mean, I've known Chris for a long time. And for me, it was one of the hardest things to, in the end, come to the belief that he just wasn't suitable to be the candidate. And I was, frankly, the last one who came to that view among all the members of our provincial council, the governing council for the party.
Did I miss anything?
There's lots of things.
Oh, I know. Go ahead. No. Hey, you got what? You got 5 minutes. You want? Or you could just.
You were going to
run
cut short here. You were going to.
No,
cut
no,
short?
we're not cutting
Oh,
short.
okay.
You could go on
Equal
if
time, right?
if I miss anything. Hey, you know that Chris Austin thing got 42,000 views.
I don't know what Chris Austin thing you're talking about.
I walked
Oh, yours.
inside mine. I
Yours.
walked inside, 42,000 views.
That's
Oh,
great.
God, how many people do you think's gonna watch this now?
I don't know. At least my mom.
Mom.
Probably not my wife.
And the three other
Probably
people.
not my daughter, so that's one. And
me-
then you, when you
and-
look at it.
and
That's
me,
two.
And me, myself, and I, that's three.
Right.
No, but the bottom line is, you are asking for the public for, and it's just a time that people are pissed off.
So-
Donald Trump got elected. The sky is still up there. Donald Trump
Yeah.
got elected. Doug Ford,
Yeah.
he got elected. So New Brunswickers, are we sheep?
So-
My grandfather voted Liberal. I gotta follow my DNA. My father voted PC. I gotta vote PC. So why not the Green Party and
Things-
the People Alliance? That
So-
the sky is not falling. Go ahead.
Well, things are changing for sure around the province. I hear it wherever I go. People want to do something different. They want to support a different party, have a better voice. But most of all of what they want a leader in power who listens, who is honest, who has integrity, and that they can trust.
Yeah.
And actually, I just might be that guy.
Like I said, no, you're doing good. Never lost your. Chris Collins, opinion on that? The Speaker of the New Brunswick legislature. They banned me from the legislature 12 years ago. They claimed that I harassed people. I said, who did I harass?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Charles.
But then I'm very annoyed.
You were
I'm very
an
annoyed.
equal opportunity harasser.
Exactly. But what is harassment? That's why I asked Chris when he ran inside the legislature today.
Right.
What is his definition of harassment? I could tell you hello, and that could be harassment.
Well, you know, in the provincial harassment policy, there's clear definitions of different kinds of harassment. And so when the investigator that our committee hired looked at the allegations that were made,
Who was it anyway? Was it an RCMP or was it
the investigator?
Yeah.
No, it was, she was,
was it she?
that's what she does as her profession. She was a former Assistant Deputy Attorney General, I think,
Oh,
in
okay.
Ontario. She works out of Cobourg, Ontario.
How much that cost, you know?
And I don't know. So, anyways, now you lost my train of thought. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she looked at the allegations and she looked at them in the context of what does the provincial harassment policy say? How does it define harassment? And she looked at all of the allegations according to those definitions, and she found some of the allegations were valid and some didn't fit, were not. So that's what she found. And so, what did you want to know?
Oh,
That was-
nothing.
that
I
was
was
the
just saying
result.
if it was proper, if it was,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, just a form of conversation. Listen, tu as demandé d'aller sur le débat de Radio-Canada.
Bon, c'est intéressant. C'est intéressant à cause de l'enjeu de M. Higgs, parce qu'il parle juste en anglais. Donc, c'est un défi.
Monsieur Hank, welcome Jack McDougall.
parce que maintenant il y a un défi pour Radio-Canada de faire une décision sur la modalité pour leur débat en septembre. Donc, au début, Radio-Canada pensait d'un certain processus, une certaine direction pour le débat.
I hope it keeps on going. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Et maintenant, il y a un peu de changement dans leur
règlement
sur le côté. Donc, on entend pour la finale, décision finale sur la nature du débat.
Crois-tu que l'élection va être, le sujet va être le bilingue? À cause de Brian Gallard, bon français, puis là, Blaine Hayes, puis là, t'as trois. Ça va-t-il être décidé sur la culture acadienne puis les Anglais?
Ouais.
Le showgas maintenant, c'est divisé à cause du showgas.
Marc, c'est une bonne question. Je ne sais pas. C'est possible que la question de l'anglicisme va devenir un enjeu dans l'action. Mais maintenant, je ne suis pas sûr. Parce qu'il y a plusieurs des enjeux très importants pour les Néo-Brunswickois et Néo-Brunswickoises, comme l'accès au système de soins de santé, l'accès au système de soins de santé mentale, le problème avec les dettes, le déficit, l'opportunité pour la jeunesse, etc. Donc, il y a plusieurs des enjeux. L'aide pour les années. Donc, maintenant, je sais pas. C'est une bonne question pour enfin la question de ballon, de écran, comment dire?
L'écran.
Écran, oui.
Anyway, listen, you really want another Green member, Green Party MLA.
Many.
I was just going to say that.
Many.
I was just going to say, let me talk. I was just going to say that. Many, or even one more, so somebody can second your motion. That would be very, very important, right?
That would be excellent. Because both the Conservatives and the Liberals shut down on me in the last Legislative Assembly and wouldn't second any of my motions. They were before for 3.5 years, and then we get to the last sitting before the election, no seconding of David Coon's motions. So that was too bad. Fortunately, when you introduce a bill, a proposed law, you don't need anyone to second it, so I had no problem there. But motions, yeah. Thanks, Charles.
You got my support. You're my MLA.
You're not supposed to say that.
You got my support. You're my MLA. Or People Alliance, vote the two. Tell the PC and the Liberals, vote. See, look, vote, and look who shows up at my door.
It's amazing.
It's time to
That's
vote.
great.
All
Okay,
good.
thank you very much.
No
Bye,
problem.
everybody.